What's up guys, Bright2J back with another Yay Toys Plus, and today's review is going to be on the Storm Collectibles Ultra Street Fighter 2 Evil Ryu. So I was never a big Storm Collectibles person. I mean, they looked nice, but I didn't have the room for it. But then they decided to release Shin Akuma, and I had to get that. So that's in my cabinet right now. But New York Comic Con had the Storm booth over there, and it was really the Storm / Bluefin booth, and like they had Evil Ryu, and I'm like, well, shit. I love Evil Ryu. He's one of my favorite characters in the Street Fighter franchise. I don't know him from Ultra Street Fighter 2. I'm more of an Alpha 3 guy, or Alpha 2. And that's how I got my skill using Evil Ryu. What I like about the character is that he's basically Akuma. I mean, naturally, Akuma's a little bit faster, a little stronger. Evil Ryu is pretty good if you could get the skill set right and master it. And I mean, I'm a little out of practice nowadays, but back in the day, whoo, I was good. But I've always loved the evil version of Ryu, especially because, like, going back to Street Fighter 2 days, I mean, Ryu in general was always one of my go-tos. So now, of course, with the Alpha games, you got the evil version, and then this version that I'm not too familiar with. But he's almost resembling the Alpha 2 Ryu, or Alpha 3 Ryu, the same dark gray. So yeah, with that being said, let's talk more about Ryu. And here's Evil Ryu, and this figure is just awesome. I stood in line with my buddy, shout out XManny87. You guys know of him because he's the guy that Shartimus always shouts out. Manny and I and his wife, Justine, we all stood in line for Storm Collectibles. And it was about an hour and change, but I got this figure, and he is just fantastic. And of course, I also got Shin Akuma and Violent Ken because, well, you just have to get the trio. So Storm Collectibles, they kind of went away with the 112 scaling. And I'll show you guys down the line. I actually got the Street Fighter 5 Ryu in the blue with the yellow bandana. Bought him around Toy Fair weekend. But I never reviewed it because I didn't know if I'd have like a Storm fan base or whatever. But now I'm seeing how they are, so I'm like, okay. He's actually smaller than this figure, and it's funny because like the Figure Arts Ryu is smaller than that, so it's kind of small, medium, and large. I'll show you guys a picture actually at the end of the video of the height difference. It's so funny. So aside from the height in these figures now, like they also change certain things. I know I was watching an old school video on, I want to say it was the other Storm Ryu, where the leg joint changed, but I'll talk into that when we get to Articulation. Ryu is massive. He weighs about as much as the Marvel Legends Thing, if you guys have that, or he's pretty much the weight of like a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, more or less. So let's take a closer look at the head. So this is one of 4 heads, and I'll talk about that too when I get into pieces. One of 4 heads. This is the default head. I have him in default mode right now with the fist and just like the dead stare. Do love the red eyes. I think that's really, really great. One thing to be mindful of when you're swapping out the head, I had weak hair on all 4 heads. So like, it pulled right off. The hair is not supposed to come off. It's not like the other Ryu with the faceplate. So I prefer Loctite over Crazy Glue. I feel like it's cleaner. So I basically just put a little bit of Loctite around the base of the inside of the hair, held in place, let go, and let it dry overnight. But all my heads are fine now. Storm does something different. It's not a hard plastic body. It's actually a rubbery plastic for easier posability. At least I think that's why they do it. All around sculpt is really nice. I do love the charcoal gray for his gi. You got the wrinkles in the back. Yeah, he almost looks statuesque, but it's very posable. Like, there's a lot of articulation on this figure. Joints are tight, but, and again, if you want to give him like a hot water bath, it might be recommended. I did that, but mine are still tight. Also, real quick, the writing on the belt, that's also spot on. And when I get into articulation, the belt, this actually can go either way. So if like you're, posing on like it's windy or whatever. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. So articulation. His head is on a ball peg, and he can go down pretty far. And as you can see, like, he could rest his chin into his neck, and go back about that far, side to side. The bandana rotates too. Of course, if you want to, it's just on a peg. And I'll get into the thing about the bandana too, but it's, pretty cool that they did that rather than it just being stationary. You could actually, unlike the Street Fighter V one, the Street Fighter V one, you could take the shirt off, but it's hard to put on. This, they changed it, and I'll show you that too. But first, so his arms can go out all the way, and of course, rotate all the way around as you hear all the squeaky. That's tight joints. Bicep swivel, pretty decent elbow. He does have really good movement in the wrist as well as the hinge. He does have waist articulation. He has a pretty decent crunch, but this does get in the way. Oops. He does pop apart, but that's pretty easy to fix. It's just, there's a certain way to have him before you pop him out of his ball peg. But as you see, it is fine. The bandana fell off, but that's fine. It happens. The legs can kick out that far. Just be careful again as I show you it, and he popped out once more. Wow, just hang tight, guys. Gotta do this off camera for a second. There we go. All right. So yeah, kick out that, that far, but also risk popping out. Back about that far, can kick out pretty far too. Double jointed knees. He does have swivel up underneath the pants, toe hinge, and a pretty okay ankle pivot. But the cool thing about Storm, these figures are so balanced, and I'll show you. And I know D did it in his video. You guys, shout out to D Amazing for being amazing. Good catching up with him at the show. Yeah. Yeah, so you can actually pose him doing the high kick. And depending on your situation, he'll hold. Like, the reason why I say that is I have cats, and they run, and things fall. But And if you want to pose them with like the, spin them around a little bit. Yeah. It'll do it. It'll do it. I did it once before on a more uneven surface. But yeah, like if you want to have them even like sweep the leg in, it'll work. That's how articulated these figures are. And what I was saying earlier, the ball peg, so in here it's a new joint system. It's kind of hard to see with my lighting, but in there is a new joint system. The older Storm had a ball in there that once it popped out, it just wasn't the same. At least not with mine, but a video I did watch. I don't remember whose at the moment. I do apologize for that person. Sorry, I don't remember your channel. But yeah, it's definitely fixed. And then with the gi, so you actually pop this out like so, and you could unclip the belt. I'm not going to take it fully off, but there's actually a secondary hole that you could switch the peg and put the gi on a little tighter if you wanted. So depending on how you were feeling, put his belt back on. So it's definitely a solid piece. Yeah, I really love this Ryu. All right, hang tight. I'm gonna get his accessories and I'll show you guys those. So you might notice that the backdrop looks a bit different. That's because I totally spazzed and forgot that all the Storm figures come with a backdrop from their part of the game, from their official stage. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I do love the graphic being nice and, you know, old and outdated to match the figure. Well, the figure is not old and outdated, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's technically an accessory. All right. And let me show you the rest here. Of course, you got the Metsu Hadouken, or like the regular Hadouken blast, in this translucent purple. There's a little bit of white in there. So it's kind of clear-ish and then goes translucent. Really, really solid. It's hard to see, but there's a hole right here, and that's because you could plug it into a display base. I like that they went different, because the Street Fighter V Ryu, I was never able to figure out how to put the Hadouken in his hands. I feel like it was just complicated. It looked cool in the pictures, but I personally was never able to do it. You can actually pull this apart. So I guess like if you want to just have him put his fist in here or whatever, you know, and make it look like he's about to do the Hadouken. I'll show you guys at the end of the video. Plugs right in. So there's that. He does come with a display base. So definitely a lot smaller than the one that came with Street Fighter V Ryu. Because that one was just bigger than the figure and I didn't know what to do with it. So there's that. This can actually come out. I'm not sure what these are, aside from like extra extensions, but I don't know where they go. So help. And then basically what you would do is with the Hadouken blast, you could fit it into any one of these pieces here. Well, actually, I figured out one. But I don't know why it comes with two. All right, so you got that here. Let's kind of line it up where it looks good. All right, so basically it's, you know, that in the background. So yeah, he actually comes with a bandana per head. I know that's fun. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it's true. So you got, seriously, you got these two and then these. Not sure why, but it's cool. And then the alternate heads. So you got the screaming head here. Looking really, really nice. I do love the attention to detailing. Then you got the gritted teeth head. Also looks really, really good. And then this is one I didn't expect. This is the continue head. Basically, you got your behind whooped and you hit continue. And he's like, usually, sure, you can, you know. And, you know, this is like, I'm not done. I'm going to keep pumping in quarters into the arcade. Or, hey, I'm not going to retire my PlayStation. You know, I do like that. So that's it for heads. For the hands, you get multiple sets. You get those fists that are on him at the moment. You do get a pair of open hands. What I do like, they put a silver wash on all the hands, and none of them are the same. So it's, you know, it's not like a machine did it. I like that it's hand done. You do get a pair of like throwing hands. Also looks really good. Same kind of, you know, paintwork for the shadowing, the metallic shadowing. And then lastly, you get a pair of Hadouken throwing hands. And that's it on the accessories. I really like this figure. He's a bit complex. He's, you know, still with the tight joints. I'm still trying to figure that out. I like it a lot. I think it's worth the buy. He, like I said, he was around $75 at the show. I think he drops on Big Bad Toy Store like next week or whatever. Along with Violent Ken. Shinakuma was actually a con exclusive from San Diego, but they had him at the booth, so that's why I grabbed him. But yeah, it's definitely a great piece. I might be collecting Storm from now on, depending on, you know, I'm not going to get everyone. The Mortal Kombat stuff looked great, but I'll put the link up on the top there for my stroll through the Storm booth. But I'm definitely only going to get, like, I'll get, like, classic-ish Street Fighter. They have a Lobo coming out from DC, so I might have to jump on that. They got Rugal from SNK. I'm going to need that. All stuff down the line. Well, that's about it. That kind of sums up this review. Hope you guys enjoyed. You could, of course, follow me on all the social media stuffs. So check me out on Instagram at BRI_2J, as well as the channel, which is Yay Toys Plus. You could, of course, find all this good stuff on InnerCityGeeks.com. We're also doing the podcast again, which is also on SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. And of course, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to your friends. Please subscribe and please tell your friends is what I meant to say. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.